Hello, and welcome to this T-Level Tactics video for the T-Level Digital Support Services course, where we're looking at our fifth topic of digital value for Root Cause 1 business context. Let's take a look at what we're going to focus on. First of all, we're going to define the terms of digitalization and value in business. Then we're going to outline how we can provide value and measure its effectiveness, for finally evaluating the implementation of digitalization in a business. And I've got a bit of a case study there for us to look at. As always, before we get started, a short disclaimer. These videos are not endorsed or sponsored by any education institution or qualification awarding body. And T-Level Tactics videos should not be used as a replacement to any classroom learning you might be receiving. Discussion and practical activities with your peers and your lecturer is going to help you to expand your thinking and comprehension. Instead, these materials are best used as preparation material or revision to reinforce your learning. And if you're studying for the T-Level Digital Business Services course, this content is suitable for you as well. However, it is going to be more contextualized towards IT support roles. Okay, let's get started. So there are two keywords that we're going to focus on to begin with. The first being digitalization, and the second being value. And they have quite specific definitions for our use. Digitalization has quite a specific spelling. You've got to make sure you have an S in it, not a Z. It's not the end of the world if you do spell it with a Z instead of an S. It's just that digitalization with a Z is the American English spelling, and in an exam you could lose marks for that. Digitalization is also sometimes referred to as digital transformation, and if you were to search that, you'd find quite a similar definition. But what does it mean in the context of business? Well, if you were to take a look in the dictionary, then you might find a definition like this, that says that digitalization is the process of changing data into a digital form that can be easily read and processed by a computer. And that's okay, but it doesn't make it very specific to business and how digitalization in a business works. Okay, so what if we were to search online? Well, Wikipedia has a more in-depth definition that says that digitalization is the adoption and implementation of digital technology by an organization in order to create new or modify existing products, services, and operations by the means of translating business processes into a digital format to increase value through innovation. You'll notice that organization there is spelt with a Z, and that's because I've copied this directly from Wikipedia and used the spellings that they've used. Okay, so digitalization, what does it really mean for us? Well, for our purposes, digitalization is the process of using digital technologies to transform business operations, processes, and models to create value and to adapt to the digital age. It involves leveraging digital tools and technologies to streamline operations, improve efficiency, enhance the customer experience, and drive innovation. And digitalization enables businesses to digitize their processes, data, and interactions, leading to increased agility, competitiveness, and growth in the digital economy. Now, you may have noticed that I've underlined the word value a couple of times, and that was our second word that we were going to take a look at. So what is value? Well, you might consider a good deal on Amazon to be value for money. Or if you go out to eat, you might get a large meal instead of a medium meal for only 50p more. You think, great! Well, in business, value means something slightly different. It's not just about money. If you were to look at the ITIL 4 Foundation book that I've mentioned a couple of times previously, it defines it as the perceived benefits, usefulness, and importance of something. It's not just about money that we might be receiving, it's about more than that. Now, value is completely subjective depending on the stakeholder, and it can be created through cost-saving measures, streamlining, new opportunities, and of course, increased revenue to the business. Value is essentially anything that is going to be a benefit for the business. And the creation of value is nearly always the goal of digitalization. Now, if you're a member of the Patreon page, you can download the task sheet and have a go at the first task on there. Head to the Patreon page, it's just below the video, and have a go at it. I recommend only spend about 20 minutes and then come back and move on to the second section. So pause the video here, head to the task sheet, have a go, and come back to carry on. Okay, so how do we create value? What opportunities for value exist through digitalisation? We're going to focus on 4 areas. The first, sales and marketing. Then we'll look at operations and finance, before finally looking at KPIs or key performance indicators. In sales and marketing, there's quite a lot of opportunity for value. We could look at market research, where there's going to be opportunities to track customer trends, and we can target or create new products and services to meet customer needs. We could look at brand promotion. We can target advertising to specific consumers, and we can use brand promotion regardless of the size of business. It can work for small, independent businesses, and it can work for huge multinational corporations too. Social media communications create new opportunities for us where we can have direct engagement with customers. And positive user engagement on these platforms can lead to an increase in sales. E-commerce brings new opportunities to businesses through online stores that don't have any opening hours compared to brick and mortar locations, a truly 24/7 global business opportunity. It also means you spend less money on brick and mortar locations on the high street. We can also track customers better. We can make personalized recommendations based on their purchase or search history, whether this be through tracking in a user account online or whether it's a system like a loyalty card in a store. And then we can make use of data analytics. We can have a look at, for instance, what social media channels we use have the biggest impact on our sales and revenue. And we can make better use of keywords in our searches and advertising. On the operations side of things, we could look at communications, looking at instant access communications, either between customers and the business or through different areas of the business. We can make use of everything we can, things like emails, instant messaging, and social media messages as well. This means we can have communications 24/7. They can be sent at any time, and it gives us the flexibility to respond. We could also make use of video conferencing for employees, either reducing or removing travel time, reducing the amount of time wasted in the business. We could create value through process automation, where repetitive tasks could be automated by a digital system. We can save money this way, and we could potentially redistribute staff and reallocate them to more valuable tasks in the business. We could also look at remote working opportunities, where we can reduce or remove costs on physical workspaces and potentially have a wider reach of potential staff and skills in the country. We can look further afield for potential employees. In terms of finance, we could look at automation here. We could look at the selling and purchasing of goods through electronic systems, no more paperwork, no more waiting for things. We have payment providers that handle all online transactions and make that process a lot smoother. In terms of reporting, we'll move to electronic record keeping, making sure we have instant, accurate updates of all documentation. And all of this documentation can be accessed over networks instantly, potentially globally if we want it to be. We'll have reduced operating costs as well for things like payroll, for instance. We can have that automated. We can also have other digital tools to improve productivity, and we can reduce business waste in the process, things like paperless offices. Paperless businesses, of course, reduce the chance of errors and lost documentation. Now, I mentioned earlier about measuring value that's created. But why do we need to measure it? Well, based on that value, we could make some strategic decisions in our business, look at where resources are allocated and where we might want to invest additional funding. We could evaluate the performance of different areas of the business. We can assess their effectiveness. We can identify key areas of improvement. We can also make adjustments to other areas where we think they're needed. We can also look at our return on investment, or ROI. We can look at the profitability of the business and where different areas might be making a loss or could be making more of a profit. And any future investments we want to make, we can use that to help us justify it. And it's also an aspect of continuous improvement, where we can experiment with new digital strategies and stay ahead of market trends. So great, this is why we want to measure value, but how do we do that? Well, this is where key performance indicators come in, or KPIs. This is where we can digitally track certain statistics of our business. We might have high-level KPIs, which is looking at overall performance and key stats, things like revenue or profit. And we could have some low-level KPIs as well, which looks into the really fine detail aspects. It could be performance statistics of specific areas. And all of these KPIs could be monitored from a dashboard, which gives a summary overview of the important KPIs we want to keep an eye on. And you can produce it in software such as Salesforce or Power BI. You can also manually create them yourself through Excel. And this is what a KPI dashboard might look like. And in this example, we've got things like the amount of profit that's being created month by month. We're keeping an eye on projects that are high in value. We've also got things like the energy consumption of the business. Again, another focus on green technologies there. Okay, so if you're a Patreon member, this is a good time to go back to the task sheet and have a go at the second task on there, which is all about different performance metrics. It's only a short task. I think you should only spend about 10 minutes on it. So pause the video here, have a go at that for 10 minutes, and then come back and carry on when you're ready. Okay, now for the third part of this video, I said that we were going to have a case study. We were going to evaluate the implementation of digitalization in a business. Let's take a look at this case study. Jack's Fits are a small boutique clothing store. They started out as a pop-up and an Etsy store, and they've recently moved into a permanent premises. They've worked with consultants to produce and implement a digitalization strategy. And here are some of the steps they've taken. Jack's Fits have launched an e-commerce platform. They've used Shopify to launch an online store and to help manage their inventory. They've also got a mobile app which features a loyalty program and offers personalized recommendations to their customers. It's also got a built-in online chat feature for support. They've also started making use of some digital marketing, using search engine optimization and keywords to boost their online traffic. And they've got an email marketing campaign to promote their products. Now, based on their efforts so far, you should evaluate how effective you believe their digitalized... There's a space on the task sheet for you to have a go at this task. There's a bit of a structure there to help guide you, and also, once you've had a go at it, there is some additional guidance and suggestions available. Now, I recommend you spend about 30 to 45 minutes on this. So pause the video, have a go at that, and then come back and we'll wrap up with a bit of a summary of what we've looked at and an exam question. So, in this video, we've defined digitalization and value in business. We've outlined how we can provide value and measure its effectiveness. And we've also had a go at evaluating the implementation of digitalization in a business. Now, here's an exam-style question for you to have a go at. A local cake shop is starting an online web store to help improve their sales, and they're hoping to increase their sales by at least 30%. Discuss 4 ways that digitalization could be implemented and how it will improve the business. And there's 4 marks available for this question, so you need to make some really good points for each of those 4 ways you could implement digitalization. And that's everything for this video. In the next one, we're going to be looking at the motivations behind digitalization. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel to be notified when that comes out. And if you're not a member of the Patreon yet, do head over there, have a look. All the task sheets are there. All the previous content we've uploaded is available for you. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.